right, Jasmine. So we have your three images here, and this is for the commercial shoot. You chose to do fashion, Tommy Hilfiger specifically. And we see the three images, one model that's repeated in all of them, one theme, and one location. And we have a wardrobe change part of the way through. So that's exactly what we're looking for here. So the theme is Tommy Hilfiger, and we see that most clearly in the last image, where we not only have the little symbol on the shirt, but we also have the lines on the shirt. So it's kind of echoing that and bringing more attention to it. So I think as far as bringing out the brand, the last image is your strongest image. The composition in all three images is pretty similar. You're photographing them straight on and you're having your subject in the center of the frame. Now, if we're thinking of this as a magazine spread, creating more variation between the three images, I think would add to that intrigue to make us want to look at all the different images and to make it valuable that there's more than one image on a page, right? If we just have one image on a page, we should get all of our information from that. But if we're thinking about having a spread with three images, we want each image to offer something unique that pulls us in over and over again, right? So that's what we're looking for here. So I would encourage you, if you were to reshoot an assignment like this, or if this is something you are working towards with your final, is to come up with more variations, maybe shooting from above or just shooting from low and shooting up at your subject, just changing your angle of view or having them off to the side instead of centered. All of that could add intrigue here. As I look at your images, your first image is probably your strongest image as far as exposure is great. You might be getting a little bit blown out on his shoes. Yeah, you are. So pulling that back into the shade a little bit, or maybe even blocking some of that light that's coming down onto his shoes. But the tonality on his skin is looking really nice here. You have great color there. And it's nice and sharp. In this image, you're getting the light coming in from above his head and almost creating a little bit of a lens flare around his hair, right? Not lens flare in that we're seeing that like octagon shape over and over, but you can see how it's lightening the top of his head in a way that's not natural. You see it on the plants behind him as well also. So that's something to be aware of. Also in this image, his hand is more in focus than his eyes. And I don't know if you're using autofocus or if you're using manual focus, but if you're using autofocus, just setting your focal points will help you with this. And then in this image, we see that coming over the edge of the plants a little bit again here. And again, in this image, he's not totally sharp there. So I think you're, again, just a little bit in front of him. We can see more of a sharpness on the arms than we do on the face again. So I'm not sure if your focal point is off or if you're just missing your point of focus. Either way, we need to make sure that we get that locked in on the eyes. So overall, I think, like I said, that first image is your strongest image. And I think him interacting with his environment is nice. The pose of the second image feels the most natural to me. It feels like you caught him in a moment, and I think that's really beautiful, and that's what we want to see. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is the environment, I think, can really feed into this, can really further your brand. And having your subject interact with the environment, like maybe in that first image, or having it more neutral as it is in the second image, works. But I wonder if like backing up and showing the whole environment would give us even more context for where this is all taking place. So a couple of tips in case you choose to do this for your final project or you continue on this fashion thread, we can push forward on these. All right, thanks, Jasmine.